Hello, everybody. And we've been having some technical difficulty, but I hope everything is working now well. And I think we have the video, I think we have the sound. It's really good, and we are starting. And today I wanted, well, first of all, I just wanted to get in touch and tell you what we have been up to, because of course we are working on new programs, new lessons, but we haven't been that active on social media. And the next part of the video will be about grammar. I've noticed that in the last couple of months, the most popular blog post on our store.com blog was about comparisons, and people search for this information on Google, and there are some very interesting points to discuss, because yes, there is the basic rule, when you want to say hotter, the hottest, but in reality, in everyday life, we actually compare things every day, and we don't always do that with the help of that rule. There are some set expressions, there are some phrases, and there are some words which, because they are one of the most frequently used words in English, they are often confused by English learners. And I want to make it this short grammar lesson to help you with comparisons, because, as I said, it's one of the most important functions in your English speaking. And yes, as I've mentioned before, people visit our blog, and we still record our podcast, Figure Out English. Don't forget, and we include idioms, phrasal verbs, and the latest episode was about expressions and collocations with work. Again, one of the most popular words in English language. And we are seriously updating our Learn English Conversation course, which has been the most popular course we have ever recorded. And I would like to add more lessons about, not just about social functions. It is the course about how you say hello, how you say goodbye, how you meet new people, and so on and so on. And what I've noticed is that we use a lot of simple grammar in everyday speaking, but our grammar courses or our conversation courses don't include this set expressions, so to say. That's why the course will be getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and probably it's the great time to buy this course right now, because you will get all the updates for free. As usual, we always do that. And we have launched a free email course. It's called Common Mistakes in English Speaking. Mistakes prove to be one of the most popular topics for you guys. You like to read about mistakes. I can't say that I agree with the concept because I don't think that mistakes actually define your English speaking ability. Communication skills are more important, but still, we all worry about our reputation as English speakers, right? We all worry about how we will look in the eyes of the people who are listening to us. That's why probably the students pay so much attention on correcting mistakes in their speaking. And if you are interested in that, please go to our website, stordar.com, stordar.com, in all the possible spellings and pronunciation. And you can subscribe to this email course. It consists of 5 lessons. I have picked the most important mistakes which I keep hearing from English learners. I'm showing you practically how to fix them. And yes, I'm trying to move away from all these long grammar rules which you can't actually apply. Yeah, just today I just finished a lesson with my student, and she quotes me the rule. She knows everything about this point. We discussed verb tenses, but when we look at the text, she doesn't translate the forms correctly, and when she starts speaking, she misuses different verb tenses in her own speaking. And yeah, that is the problem for many of us, right? We if we learn grammar logically, academically, through these abstract structures, then we don't know what to say in real life. And this is what I'm trying to do in my course, Learn English Conversation. This is what I'm trying to do in most of my videos I record. Yeah, I'm just showing you, this is your life. This is how you're going to want to say it. Yes, this is how you are choosing or making a decision how you will express the idea you have in your mind. Yeah? This is exactly what we are going to do right now. So talking about comparisons. And what is comparison? Yeah, you find, you look at two objects normally. Sometimes it's more, sometimes you compare groups. But, well, let's start with the simple thing, yeah? You compare two objects and you find either similarities or differences, yeah? For example, I am taller. No, I'm shorter. I'm shorter than most of my friends. This is me comparing myself to the group of people. Yeah, I'm shorter than most of my friends. I could be saying I'm shorter than my boyfriend, then I will be comparing two people. And yes, don't forget that every moment of comparison, okay, can actually end in the point of finding the similarity or the difference. Yeah? And it is very important to realize, it is very important to understand, because when they teach us grammar, I will show you that the difference can actually end up in the complete difference, right? When they teach us the rules of comparison, they only describe us this point. So I am taller, I am shorter, something like that. But where is the similarity? We could be the same, so to say, yeah? And for that, like how you will say that something is similar or the same with, yes, in their quality. The phrase we usually use is the same, then you can add something there, and they use as. And people are trying to say the same like, and it's a literal translation from some languages, yeah, but no, it is the set structure. Because as shows the similarity, it's mostly used in the structures, okay? When we compare things together, especially when we compare similar things together, yes? The things which are identical, for example. So, you can say, the weather today is the same as yesterday. Yeah, the weather today is the same as yesterday. Here you are not breaking the structure, you are just using it, we could say, as a preposition. Yeah, you could say the weather today is like yesterday, and this will be the same. The weather today is like yesterday. The weather today is the same as yesterday. But what gives us more flexibility here? Because like, yes, like is a preposition. Here it's not a verb, it's a preposition showing similarity. Because it's a structure, you can add something inside it. And for example, you can say, the weather today is the same hot as yesterday. Or for example, the wind today is the same strong as yesterday. Okay, emphasizing the quality, not comparing the whole concept. Yeah, today's weather, yesterday's weather. But you are showing some kind of a quality which you are comparing. And you can go from that, and this structure can turn into as. Okay? It's possible to say the weather today is as hot as yesterday. Okay? And you need two elements. People are trying to use as a preposition for comparisons, and they often forget, okay, that you need two elements. So, I am I don't know, I am as tall as my mother, okay? We are the same. We are in this extreme point of similarity. We are identical in our heights, okay? I am as professional as that teacher over there. I will be showing, okay? I will be showing that we are the same. The difference with this structure, you can also use the noun. For example, we are the same age. For example, yeah, we are the same age. But here you need an adjective. So English is as difficult as any other language. Again, I'm comparing one English with the group of languages. Yeah, English is as easy as any other language, for example. And it's a good structure. It's because you can go further, and if you can say that things are the same, in the same way, you can say in the same way. Yeah? We will come there. If you can say that things are the same, you can say they're different using this construction. Even if you don't know a normal rule, yes, about taller, more difficult or something like that, you can just use this, and you can say, for example, the weather today is not as hot as yesterday, as it was yesterday, as yesterday. Yeah, not as. I am not as tall as my boyfriend is. Or in conversation style, I will just say, I'm not as tall as my boyfriend, yeah? I'm not as young as my boyfriend. I'm a little bit older. And here, you will be looking at grades. And we will come there too. And it's also possible to say not so as. It's not so hot today as yesterday, for example. For negative structures only. So if you show the similarity, if you show the things are the same, it's only as. You can't say so as. No. I am as short as my mother, but I'm not so tall as my boyfriend, for example. Yeah? And you start from there. You can show different shades of meaning, so to say, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. It is really easy to use. Just remember that you need two elements, okay? Here you will put the quality you are comparing, and here you will put the second object of your comparison, okay? It's really not that difficult. And the flexibility I'm talking about, you can add how exactly, okay, things are similar or different. For example, I am almost as young as my boyfriend. Yeah, so almost as, where is it? It's somewhere here on my line. We are not identical, so here I will even, we will put this extreme point into identical. Okay, We are not identical, we are not here, but we are, okay? We are here, we are close. For example, this book almost as good. Oh, the translation is yes, people often argue about the quality of translations for different books. So this translation is almost as good as the original. And I'm just, yeah, they're so good, both, yeah? Another variant, you can say not quite, and this is very polite. If you want to say about something you are not happy about, yeah, and this is not quite as good as I expected, for example, okay? This film is not quite as good, not exactly so good, but you need the comparison, yes, and not quite as good as I expected. The main thing, never forget this second thing, the second part, because if you are just giving the quality, if you are just giving the grade of the quality, for example, I think this film is not so good, I think this film is not quite good, not really good, yeah, but if you want to include the comparison with something, you will start using the structure with as. And for example, you can even show some numbers. For example, this car is twice as expensive as that one. Okay, you can say yes, more expensive, but twice as, it shows actually, yes, the difference in half, okay? It's twice as good as I expected, for example. Well, mostly, yeah. Try to use this with the numerical qualities, for example. Now, it's imagine that yesterday it was 10 degrees and today it's 20. Suddenly, yes, the weather has changed so much. You will say it's twice as hot today as it was yesterday, for example. And I hope you find a way, okay? You find a way to include that in your speaking, because this is what we hear a lot, and this is really a simpler way to do it, right? Because if you get confused about forming, yes, the comparison forms, for example, when we say hotter, when we say more beautiful, and so on and so on, go to my blog, go to figureoutenglish.com and find this episode. It's a popular post, people are learning to do that, or just try other variants, okay? And getting to the phrases, getting to the structures, I notice a lot of mistakes in people. I notice a lot of mistakes when people are saying about the comparison. For example, you are telling how your year is going, and you start telling, well, okay, I have completed this course, or I have found a new job, and so on and so on. And you need a reference, you need a connection to the previous period of time. You need a structure, okay, which will connect you in the way of comparison. And people are trying to say comparison, for example, in comparing with. Yes, this year is very good for me in comparing with the previous one, and it's a mistake. We don't say it like that, because we have several set expressions which will help you compare with some different point in time or in place and so on. You say comparing to, and you don't need anything else. I have made more money comparing to the same month last year. Okay, or for example, comparing to what I'm used to, it's not quite a good hotel, for example. comparing to. It's used a lot as a participle structure which starts the sentence. And you can say, yeah, comparing to my family, comparing to the last year, and so on and so on. The phrase which you are searching for, and I'm trying to understand where this mistake comes from. Yeah, why are you trying to say in comparing with? There is a phrase which we use in writing, and it's in comparison with. But I can't say this structure is popular in speaking. Yes, it exists, and it's very good for your essay, for example, if you are preparing for an exam, if you are preparing for the IELTS or TOEFL exam, in comparison with. We use it for describing charts, but I don't recommend using it in your speaking because it's abstract noun. We don't like abstract nouns in speaking, and it's long. It sounds bookish, truly sounds bookish. You can just make a sentence and you can say, if we compare, but there you will not need a preposition. For example, if we compare the last 2 years, or if we compare these two girls, if we compare these two teachers, whatever, yeah? It will be just an introductory sentence with if. It's a zero, I think it's a zero conditional structure, but maybe you will find that, okay, a more comfortable way to say it, but you really seriously need to get used to using comparing to. It's the easiest way. But yes, you can say if we compare, okay, something like that. And I think, yes, we also like to use also or to, okay, if we include a new object, a new context, and we want to show the similarity, for example. Yeah, so also, okay, I have found a new job, and also, okay, this will show the similarity. This will put your things together. Or and two, if you remember, it likes to go to the end of the sentence. For example, he doesn't like ice cream, and I don't like it too. Okay, negative sentence, it goes to the very end. And this is a very interesting and tricky situation, because we learn this word too quite early in our English learning courses. And we like this structure. English learners like this structure. I don't like it too. But the problem with it is that you need to reconstruct the whole sentence. You have noticed how I did that, right? I said, he doesn't like ice cream, and I don't like it too. You can't say, and I too. You can't say, and me too. It's not possible. You use to with the full sentence, okay, mostly with the negative structure, but you can't use a shorter way. A shorter way is this mirroring structure with so or neither, okay? You have probably learned this structure, how to use these answers to different, it's a type of reaction, yeah? For example, I like ice cream, so do I, okay? I don't like ice cream, neither do I, yeah? And I know it's tricky for English learners, and native speakers do it so effortlessly, so naturally. We always spend some time on that, because this is the easiest way for you to react and to relate to a person, to find the similarity. If you find the similarities, yeah, it's very easy for you to communicate with this person. You can do that not as a separate answer, not as a separate reaction. You can do it inside the sentence. Let's have a look at the example. For example, I like ice cream, and you connect the things together, and so does he. And so does he. Okay, I start with the connecting word, but I mirror. Okay, so you have here the structure subject verb. Here you have the auxiliary verb subject. Okay, I like ice cream, and so does he. For example, you can use a noun here. Yes, I like ice cream, and so does my mother. It doesn't matter. The main idea is that they are like in the mirror. Okay, they are. The second part is shown in the opposite order, so to say. If you react to the negative structure, for example, I don't like ice cream. You should show the similarity in negation, the negative similarity if you want, and you use neither for that. Many people pronounce it as neither. You can pronounce it both ways. You can say neither, you can say neither, but again, you use the auxiliary verb and the pronoun or the noun. It's up to you. I don't like ice cream, and neither does he, for example. Okay, I haven't been to Copenhagen, and neither have you. I have just made this comparison with you, for example, inside the sentence. I didn't use any special phrase for it. Yeah, I didn't use any special rule for it. You just mirror. Okay, I have just mirrored my first part. Remember about that. You use so for positive reactions to the positive statements, and you use neither for reactions for the negative statements. Okay, and you always use the auxiliary verb, grammar verb. Okay, you don't repeat the main verb. You use the corresponding auxiliary verb. Here I have present simple, and it's a little bit tricky because we don't normally use the auxiliary verb in present simple. Yes, in the positive statement. I like, and so does. I don't, here it's easier, yes? I don't, and neither does. For example, I can't swim. And let's compare this with my friend. So I can swim, my friend can't swim. So you can say I can't swim and my friend can't swim too, but it's too long. And you will need this structure here. So try to make it for me. I can't swim, and neither, because it's a negative statement, right? Neither can my friend. Okay? Because can't, this modal verb has the qualities of the auxiliary verb in the sentence, okay? It will be used as the auxiliary verb of this structure. And neither can my friend. Neither can she, for example, yeah? Just remember that there's two parts. The first one is in the direct order. The second one is in the indirect order. We have turned it a little bit just to put them together. You sometimes can use as in this type of structure, but I only recommend it to use for the positive sentences. For example, for example, you can say, I like ice cream as she does. Well, I'm really reluctant whether I should talk about it or not, because if you don't know, if you don't have this clear understanding of the verb tenses, it could be a little bit tricky. But yes, you need to know that this structure exists in the language. So I like ice cream as she does. The same way as she does, I prefer the sentence, the structure which we started with. But yes, people ask this question very often. Do we use as a single word for comparisons? And we often confuse, as with like, because we go to the dictionary, we go to some books which describe us how to use these words, and they tell us that they both mean similarity. The rule is quite simple. Like is used for objects, for nouns, okay, and for processes. For example, I don't know, swimming is like riding a bicycle. You need to let it go, okay? Like riding a bicycle. I have used the phrase with a gerund. It's a noun, grammatically. Something is like something. Remember this structure in your head, You're like my mother. You keep nagging about things. Yes, okay. She's like a fresh sip of water or something like that, The phrases or nouns. As is used before clauses, sentences, mini sentences. Okay? It can't be used with nouns. You can't say, you are as my mother. No, it's not possible. Because if you use as in the structure with a noun, it means a different thing. It means a function. You have probably seen it in the sentence, I work as an accountant. I work as a teacher. Okay? Or as your mother. Being in the function of your mother, as your mother, I forbid you to do that, right? As means the function. It doesn't compare objects. Okay? It is also possible to use as before the prepositional phrases, okay, but less often, and mostly I recommend you to remember it like that. If you want to use like and as for comparisons, use this before nouns and processes, and use as before clauses. But I have already showed you 2 ways to do it easier, and from my point of view, because we want you to be safe, we don't want you to risk until you become absolutely confident, okay? We don't want you to risk saying something which will confuse your speakers. And with these everyday words, it's always like that. As also will be used for simultaneous actions, for example. As sometimes means because it has so many meanings. Just leave it out of comparisons. Remember that this is the structure. For example, I am as tall as you. When you show the similarity or something is, you show that something is identical. And use like for comparisons, for example. Make it clear in your head and try to find as many examples as possible, when you listen to English, when you read English. Just try to make to find examples, to look at the examples, to watch how other people do that, and then start doing it yourself until you feel absolutely confident about it. And yes, as is a tricky word. It's a simple structure, it's a simple rule. Use it with clauses, but you can, I think it's more productive to learn the structure I told about before, For example, your mother is strict and so is mine, for example, yes? And it's easier to do, it's more natural to do, and this is how you hear it every day in English. I think it's a lot to digest. I am going to publish the quiz, the test about using these different structures for comparing things. So don't forget to visit my blog at stordar.com/blog, or you can start with visiting figureoutenglish.com, the podcast where you learn a lot of set expressions and phrases. And please watch don't miss the updates, join the free course, and of course I will be going live more often. I am planning to have several live broadcasts where I will be teaching you different aspects of English learning and how to improve your speaking. Thank you very much for watching this.